Tonight we'll be speaking with the President and the Vice President of the Associated Student Government about the student body and what they do at COC to make it more welcoming and interactive. Canyons News starts now.
With news from across the Santa Clarita Valley, this is Canyons News.
Welcome to a special edition of Canyons News. I'm Stuart Carpel, and joining us today is Colin Schneier and Clarissa Zwa, the President and Vice President of our student government. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, some of us watching at home may know about the program, but not exactly what ASG provides to the students at COC. Can you tell us about what is ASG and what are some of the biggest roles it has here on campus? Colin?
Sure. So ASG is Associated Student Government, and so what we are about is producing student leaders. Not only that, but representing other student interests. So what you do is you get to learn not just leadership skills, but sort of how to try to take the bias that you have out of the situation and try to look at it from a more macro level view of what do the students want, what's being favored, and really how can we make that happen, because we actually can make change behind closed doors, and unlike high school where it's mostly events, it's a lot more involved on college campuses.
Well, Clarissa, what's your perspective on ASG?
Yeah, so it's kind of like what Colin said. There's some things that are more visible, like the events that the activity board puts on, but there's also things that are kind of more behind the scenes, like financing and budgetary approvals and district committees that we attend along with faculty here at COC to address specific concerns and missions such as improving technology, parking, looking over grade complaints, that kind of thing.
Well, it seems that your program is very goal-driven. Do you mind telling us some reasons why you both joined ASG and what have been some of your goals during your time here? Clarissa?
Yeah, so I started getting involved with College of the Canyons through the Astronomy and Physics Club, which is advised by Professor Teresa Ciardi, who teaches astronomy here. And it really inspired me after getting to interact with other COC students through that club to become more involved with COC in general. So last year around March, I ran for my position in the elections and I won, and it's just been an amazing ride since then.
Well, Colin, what are some of your goals during your time in ASG?
I joined ASG, really excited to make some new friends and learn some leadership skills. I started sort of like Clarissa did in a club in Model United Nations and Political Science Club, which was not even my major, but it was really fun just, realizing I had that potential I didn't think I had to go and be a part of an academic team. So I thought, hey, I'll run for ASG, and that sounds like fun. And I did it twice, and it was really fun. And I would say that as far as our goals are, I'm here to encourage other students to join us and to believe in themselves, because when it comes down to it, we have so much potential that we don't realize we have, and I know that firsthand.
Well, it seems as the program is very fun. Do you mind telling me what your most enjoyable and favorite memories are at ASG? Colin?
Yes, so one of my favorite memories is last year, the previous ASG Senate, we had to have a very, very close discussion and vote on whether to keep masking for the spring semester. And the reason why it was so contentious is because we had a promise that we had made to the students, that the board had made to the students, that masks would be kept regardless of what the county said for the spring semester. So it came down to literally one vote deciding it, and it was really fun because it just showed me, how impactful our decisions can be, and also it was fun, really taking a matter like that so seriously with others.
Well, Clarissa, what is your most favorite memory at ASG?
So this month, ahead of midterms, I worked with Colin and our student trustee, Jessie McClure, to put on town hall events where we sort of had a sit-down conversation with different candidates. We had the Hart District School Board candidates have a panel. We had the two congressional candidates, which was Christy Smith and Congressman Mike Garcia. We sat down and had a conversation with both of them. we had a conversation with Pilar Schiavo, who is running for Assembly here in California. And I thought it was just really amazing to be able to bring that kind of information to College of the Canyon students and to be able to interact with politicians like that.
Well, that sounds amazing. Coming up next, we discuss about what future plans are for the ASG program and what they have planned for the spring semester. We'll be back with the future of ASG after the break.
In a home fire, can your family safely escape in 2 minutes?
I heard my oldest son holler for mommy, and all I could see was smoke. The boys, we never really worked with them, I guess, on telling them what to do if there's a fire. We lost our child. We lost everything.
Make sure you can safely escape a fire. Practice your 2-minute drill. Test your smoke alarms monthly. Make your plan today.
Hello and welcome back to the special edition of Canyons News. I'm Stuart Carpel, and we are here with the President and Vice President of the Student Government, Colin Schneier and Clarissa Zwa. Let's continue our conversation. Regarding an issue like COVID, it was a very difficult time for students to readjust to a regular school life. How would you say ASG has aided in students in order to feel comfortable in a classroom setting again? Colin?
Absolutely. So we took what the last ASG Senate did so well, which was that connection with faculty, and we started bridging it towards the students. So a lot of students were not aware, even previously to the pandemic, of a lot of our services on campus, and we have been actively working to change that and institutionalize it for the future in our current project we're working on. Additionally, we made sure that the transition in the spring was as smooth as we possibly could make it, and we've been making sure that all the students know that, hey, we're here, we're still on campus, there is online options, but we are here and we would love for you to come, have a discussion, and be a part of the classroom again. And I think it's been a lot of fun.
Well, Clarissa, how do you think ASG has helped aid students in coming back to campus?
So I think the biggest thing I hear from students here at College of the Canyons is how the pandemic kind of had them holed up in their houses and how they really don't feel like they know people at College of the Canyons or have that kind of community around them. So I think one of the biggest things we've done is provided events such as Fall Fest and like movie nights where they can reach out and meet their fellow College of the Canyons students, even like specific to major events, like we recently held a STEM mixer so that people could just socialize with people who are taking the same classes as them and creating that kind of allyship and solidarity that helps you get through the school year.
Well, Colin, do you mind giving us another example of an event that you've supported for and in what way?
That I've supported for? Okay.
Yeah, and as an ASG member.
Absolutely. So I had an event where I was trying to get the vote out on campus, really, remind people that, hey, midterms are coming, they matter, your voice matters, and it can be fun. And that's really what I've been trying to do, is try to make voting fun and civic engagement fun, because, sometimes these are some very serious issues that we deal with, but I think when we approach it with a little bit of a different perspective that's a little bit more lighthearted, but also we're a part of this community, then I think we really can make progress. And so that's what my event was all about, was really building that connection. And voting matters, civic engagement matters, you matter.
Well, Clarissa, why do you think events like this help students in how they perceive the school?
So I think a lot of students see College of the Canyons as just some place to get credits and then not really get involved on the campus. And I think while that is a fine way to see COC, you can get so much more out of it when you really tap into the clubs, all the programs that are available to you. And like Colin was saying, like you make it part of your civic life in terms of like how you think about voting and your political opinions within the community of College of the Canyons, and having that kind of forum of other students to talk to about politics in that way.
Well, Colin, how do you think that represents how students perceive like certain events and stuff here, like through ASG? How do you think students perceive that?
I would say that they, first of all, don't really know what's happening. And then when they do, I think it's sort of like, wow, oh, hi, you're here. But from what I could tell, the response is overwhelmingly positive. I think students love seeing events on campus. You know, I can tell you I started here in 2018 before the pandemic, and we had a lot of events back then, a lot of booths, a lot of canopies, balloons, everywhere. So just seeing, you know, that presence on campus in whatever form it might be does attract a lot of students while they're passing by, and it's been really fun to, you know, bring that back.
Well, speaking of students at COC, let's talk about another past event. Talk me through the process of how homecoming came to be, given the fact that the school didn't have a traditional homecoming event since the beginning of 2020. Clarissa?
So our social student involvement coordinators worked really, really hard on homecoming. As you said, one of the things was we hadn't had an in-person event of that scale in 2 years. So they had to do a lot of publication just so that new students who had just come out of high school even knew that COC had a homecoming. So they put up a lot of posters around the school, a lot of flyers and like publication on our social medias so that people knew that this homecoming game was happening. And even hosting a tailgating event, which is something we had not done before, so people could get really excited and have that like school spirit. And then turnout ended up being really good to that football game.
Well, considering how much effort is put into these events, to making these events possible, do you mind telling us about any upcoming events students should look out for? Colin?
Absolutely. So we have a couple more transfer nights in our little transfer series, which has been, you know, helping students with some workshops with Counselor Tony Law on how to transfer. And on top of that, we have some movie nights that are coming up. We have a movie night on the Canyon Country campus next Friday, and that's going to be really fun. And we do host those from time to time. For the spring, we have some really, really important stuff planned that we're not really done formulating, but it'll be sort of like Fall Fest, which we just had, and we'll just be looking at it in the spring.
Well, while we have a minute, let's take a moment to hear some ideas from some other students here on campus.
The school dance would be cool. I feel like a lot more people would come and join and like be on campus.
Like a school dance, like school movie night, and just kick it.
A lot more like dances and like fun activities for kids to like people to do after class hours.
I think we should have like some little kid stuff, like some laser tag or like some fun events like volleyball or something to make kids come out, or even like more clubs like about sports like soccer, basketball, football, just to make the kids on campus interact more.
Having a dance at College of the Canyons. I'm curious, what are your guys' thoughts on having a school dance?
Well, I am definitely interested in pursuing that. I think, you know, high schools, they have it for a reason. It helps generate revenue, and it's really fun. And I think it would also make COC a much more exciting place to want to apply to. If you see that, hey, we're hosting dances, you're going to see that images online, you know, it's going to be shared on social media. And so I definitely support having a dance. I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Well, Clarissa, what do you think of having a dance here at COC?
Yeah, I think having a formal in the coming months, or if this is like something very large, we have to plan it for next year, but definitely having that coming would be really exciting, because I personally would love to go to a school dance and to be able to socialize with students here at College of the Canyons. I think a lot of students would get a lot out of that dance. a lot of universities host formals in the spring and in the fall, and it's just a great event for the students to come together and feel very fancy for a night. And then on the more boring side of it, some good funding for programs that are very important here at COC.
Well, in regards to events like dances, the ASG Election Information Session begins on Monday, March 14th. These sessions are for learning more about ASG and being in a student leadership position if interested. How else can students better prepare themselves for becoming involved with ASG? Colin?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, just apply. We do not really mind what your past experience is. We do take that into account, but what we're really looking for in ASG is someone who cares, who's interested in not just learning and becoming a leader, but helping out others too in the process and being more connected with your community. So you just have got to come with the passion to want to try to be a leader, because everyone has the capacity to be a leader. And that's what I learned first and foremost was I thought I was, did not have the potential. But not only did I have that, but I could do quite well in it. And I know that everyone on campus has that ability. And so they just need to apply. They just have to try.
What do you think is the best way for students to be a part of ASG here on campus?
Yeah, so I think the first thing they can do is come out to one of our ASG events, talk to a current officer or director, and just kind of get to know what ASG involves, what kind of hours you would be putting in, what kind of positions might be the best fit for you next year. And then, as Colin said, after that, just apply. We are actually accepting applications at the start of the spring semester. So that one, you'll just be interviewed, and then elections, as you said, the information session will be in March. So those will be elected for. But you can apply to be an officer or a director for the coming semester as well.
Well, that does it for Canyons News. I'm Stuart Carpel, and thank you for our very wonderful student government members for taking time out of their busy schedules to join us. Make sure to keep up with ASG through their social media at COC_ASG. And while you're at it, go ahead and check us out on Instagram and Facebook at Canyons News. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night, everyone.